Boker Tov, good morning everyone, and welcome to the very first of our coming together for the days of Elul. There is this tradition of just getting ourselves ready for the high holy days, and so each morning we'll be coming together right here, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, whether you're joining us at 9 a.m. or later in the day. I'm so glad that you are here with us to start this day from a place of gratitude and from a place of joy. So I begin just talking a little bit about what this is all about. What if Moses hadn't climbed Mount Sinai the second time? What if the new moon came and he stood on the precipice of the mountain, unable to propel himself forward? Our tradition upholds Shavuot as one of our most important holidays. It was the day on which God gave Moses the Ten Commandments in all their glory, a day filled with sacred covenants between the Jewish people and God. Shavuot is foundational to our very identity. I believe that there is one day that is every bit as significant, though it comes without so much of the fanfare. That is today on Rosh Elul, the first day of the Hebrew month called Elul. After Moses received the commandments, his job didn't end there. He needed to bring them to the people. The problem was that they weren't quite patient enough. 40 days was too long for them to be without their spiritual guide, so they resorted to worshiping a golden calf. They broke their bonds of commitment before they had truly begun. And Moses, after 40 days alone on the mountain, was forced to shatter the sacred tablets that he had sacrificed so much to receive. Moses begged God to give the people another chance and not give up on them as a lost cause. He asked God to curb anger and turn to forgiveness, mercy, and love. And God agreed that yes, they would have a second chance if Moses embarked on the same harrowing journey once more. It was undoubtedly a big ask. For 40 days, he was to live on Mount Sinai, alone with his thoughts. If he fell, no one would be there to catch him. If wild beasts attacked, he would need to fend for himself. He was to be alone in the deafening blackness of night, alone to worry if this time his effort was well worth it, if this time the people would be loyal and faithful. Moses could have said no. He could have given up. But 40 days after Moses shattered the tablets, he set out on the first of Elul, on this day, today. He searched within himself for the courage, the perseverance, and the faith that this time would in fact be different. Many people believe that the high holy days begin on Rosh Hashanah, but our tradition gives us a month to get ready. Just as Moses prepared himself to climb the sacred mountain, so too do we prepare for the work ahead. Are we the people that we aspire to be? How do we wish to improve this coming year? To whom should we apologize? What resentment and pain are we ready to let go of? How can we further sanctify that which is most important in our lives? This journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires honesty, humility, and integrity. And it comes with the most precious rewards. 40 days after Moses climbed the mountain, he came down on Yom Kippur to find a people better prepared to enter into a sacred covenant and form a society based on compassion, justice, understanding, and love. It is my prayer that over the course of these 29 days of coming together throughout the month of Elul, this can prepare us even in these most challenging times, to begin a year filled with purpose, sacred connections, and a myriad of blessings. And so we begin this month together by saying the words of our Rosh Chodesh blessing, welcoming in this new month of Elul. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. Rosh Chodesh Elul, Hu Hayom. The new month of Elul begins today. So throughout the month of Elul, there are a bunch of traditions that we have. And one of them is to focus on this one specific psalm every single day throughout the month of Elul. In fact, it even goes beyond that, through Rosh Hashanah, through Yom Kippur, all the way to Sukkot. And we sing this song, Psalm 27, verse 4, as our entryway into these beautiful words that we'll be studying and looking at throughout this month. If you know the melody, please sing along. If you don't know the melody, well, you will. Achat shehalti meit Adonai otah vakesh. Achat shehalti meit Adonai otah vakesh. Shivti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai, lachazot benoam Adonai, ulevacher veichalo, lachazot benoam Adonai, ulevacher veichalo. One thing I ask of the Eternal, only that do I seek, to live in the house of God all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Eternal, and to frequent God's temple. So you might ask, why Psalm 27? It's a good question. And it turns out that although there's a lot of connections we'll see in the Psalm with the High Holy Day season, it didn't become a tradition to look at Psalm 27 each day throughout Elul until around the 1700s. And yet, this practice easily took hold, in part because there is a practice that every single day we offer a psalm. There's a psalm for each day of the week, as you know. And so by focusing on this particular psalm every single day, it allows us to bring out the deeper meaning within. I'm going to be using teachings from this book that you see on the screen, Opening Your Heart with Psalm 27. And if this is something that speaks to you, I really encourage you to get the book and look at it, because there's a lot of beautiful wisdom and poetry within its pages. Just a short quote from the book to kind of bring us in to what this is all about. The words of Psalm 27 encourage us to revisit challenging moments of life and awaken our memories so we can reflect and learn. Reading, we remember. We've felt pursued by enemies, besieged by demands, abandoned by those who love us. We have begged and pleaded for help. We have wanted to ask God for only one thing and found ourselves rushing headlong into a list of petitions. We have felt in doubt in ourselves and humanity and God. And we have, if we are fortunate, for even a fleeting moment been able to feel strong, sing in gratitude, and even give voice to hope and courage. There is so much more within these 14 short verses of Psalm 27. And so, as is customary, we read together the words of this psalm this morning and every morning. Of David, Adonai is my light and my victory. From whom shall I feel fright? Adonai is the stronghold of my life. From whom shall I feel terror? When evildoers approach me in battle to feed on my flesh, my pursuers, my adversaries, they have stumbled, they have fallen down. If a camp encamps against me, my heart will not fear. If a war rises against me, in this I would trust. One thing I have sought from Adonai, how I long for it, that I might live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, that I might look upon the sweetness of Adonai and spend time in the palace, that you might hide me in your sukkah on a chaotic day. Hide me in the hiding places of your tent. Raise me high upon a rock. that you might hide me in your sukkah on a chaotic day. And now my head rises high above my enemies round about, and in your tent I'll offer offerings to the sound of the truah, the sound of the shofar. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. Hear, Adonai, my voice. I am crying out. Be gracious to me. Answer me. My heart has said to you, seek my face. I am seeking your face, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away from me in anger. You have been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, God of my deliverance. For my father and my mother have abandoned me, yet Adonai gathers me up. Make your path apparent to me. Guide me in the upright road because of those up ahead who lie in wait for me. Do not hand me over to the lust of my adversaries, for false witness have risen against me, puffing violently. Had I not the faith that I would see the goodness of God in the land of life, wait for Adonai, filling your waiting with hope in Adonai. Let your heart be strong and of good courage, and wait hopefully for Adonai. In her book, Robbins picks a particular word or piece of a verse and adds emphasis to it with poems. And today, on this very first day of Elul, the focus is on the word is on the word my light. Adonai is my light and my victory. The very idea of light is something that can truly speak to us as a moment of clarity, a moment of goodness, a moment of hope. Just a small piece from her liturgical poem, Sit, as each fragment awaits, an image that inspires, a memory that pierces, a smell that comforts, an emotion that unsettles, a faith that grows, a gate that opens. So each morning in Elul, on the subject of light, each morning in Elul, we are going to include a reflection from someone. And we have many people in the congregation, many friends in the community who are going to be offering reflections each day to help us get ready for Rosh Hashanah, for Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Simchat Torah, all of the days ahead. But this morning, I'm going to start us off with a story of my own. And it is a story that I think might resonate with many of us. At this time of COVID, we all know how challenging things can be. How everything can feel like it's going okay until something can just kind of set us over the edge, reminding us that we are not in control, that there is so much beyond our hands, that the kind of comforts that we want to be in this beautiful sanctuary that's behind me in this image, to be together, we don't have control over these things. And there was one day not too long ago that I was leading a service for the community. And I made sure I had everything I needed to do the absolute best that I could do for the community. All the right technology, the best internet that I could possibly have, everything that I could have to set up for success. And even still, the microphone stopped working at a most inopportune time. And my ability, my desire to be fully present in this moment, in the midst of this beautiful service, was out of my hands. I was most assuredly not in control. I've heard from many of us that we've had those moments of just complete vulnerability and frustration. And I want to say that I hear you and I get it. And so in that moment when I felt that, I couldn't pick up the phone and call anyone. I couldn't talk it through. So what did I do? I got in the car and I began to drive. And I didn't know exactly where it was that I was driving to until I got at the temple. And I walked in the room, I walked in the building, and I went straight into the sanctuary and I began to look around and walk through this beautiful space of prayer that we have. And as I'm walking around, I'm thinking about my wish, my desire for the day in which we can all be present in this really special room, this room of sanctity, this room of community, and this room of prayer. And I'm opening up the ark and looking at our Torah scrolls, and I'm looking at the stained glass behind, and I'm standing at my pulpit. And then I look up at the Ner Tamid, the light that never, ever, 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 ever goes out, and what do I see? The light is not on. And my heart skips a beat, because in that moment there was a profound sadness. It was almost as if this sanctuary needs us as much as we need it. And so I sat down underneath the Ner Tamid, and I put some books of prayer around me, and I had a guitar in hand. And I began to look through the pages of our Machzor, of our High Holy Day prayer book, and I came to Psalm 27. And as I read the words of Psalm 27, there was one phrase that stood out to me, that spoke to me. And the phrase was, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha, which means have strength and have courage in your heart. And I began to pick up a guitar, and I began to write a song. Now, if you know me, you know that sometimes I do write music, but I never, ever, ever share it. Because I write it for myself, because I don't think it's all that good, but because it really is something that I just do for myself. But I began to think about this moment of Elul, and the kind of vulnerability that comes with it. That in order to find comfort, in order to find strength, sometimes we need to lean into that vulnerability, do things outside of our comfort zones in order to grow and in order to find strength within. And so for the first time, I am sharing with you this morning the song, the prayer that I created, because it is the prayer that on that day I needed to create for myself. And perhaps it is a prayer that someone out there needs to hear as well. Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. And as I finished writing this song, I looked up and I saw that the Ner Tamid light was on. Perhaps it had been on all along, but I hadn't seen it because of the reflection in the room. Perhaps the light had just been waiting to be lit. And so it's my hope that during this month of Elul, we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. We allow ourselves to dig in. We allow ourselves to feel everything that we are feeling, to work through the ways in which we want to make this month count. Because when we do, sometimes we find inner resources of strength that we simply didn't know that we had. We find a ner tamid, an everlasting light that shines even brighter. On Elul, it is customary, in addition to singing the words of Psalm 24, to also hear the sound of the shofar, because it awakens in us strength. It awakens in us the ability to truly see the world and ourselves. And so this morning, we will hear the shofar blast by none other than our resident shofar blower, the one and only George Mayer. Okay, we're going to try this again. Slight technology problem here. We will make this work though. Okay, it worked yesterday. It didn't work today. So, let's see if we have another shofar blower on here and if that will work. Let's see.
Takia.
No, it is not working. Okay, well, sometimes, like I said, technology does not fully function. I will run downstairs and get a shofar to blow momentarily. But in addition to hearing the shofar blast, which we will do in just a second, I want to end every morning that we come together with a Mishaberach prayer, with prayer for healing of people in need of healing of mind, of body, and spirit, people who are suffering with COVID-19, people who are wrestling with anxiety and depression, people who are in need of any kind of healing in our community and beyond. Please join with me in Debbie Friedman's Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Lehimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I'm going to try one last thing to get that shofar blow from George Mayer, because I know we are all itching to hear it. Thank you, George, for offering those shofar blasts. I hope everyone has a meaningful first day of Elul, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for our second day. Also, I just want to let everyone know we have such a fun, awesome weekend that is coming up. We have Festival TBE, and so tonight we're going to have a wonderful musical service. I know at 10 o'clock we're going to be having our challah and cookie pick up for everyone who's taken part in those fundraisers. Tomorrow morning, we have Social Action Shabbat with Mara Gad, who's going to be doing a webinar with us, and she is amazing. We have so much to learn from her. I hope you'll be there for that. Saturday night, of course, we have our Zoomathon, where we're going to have many people in our community be a part, and we're going to uplift to one another, as well as some special musical guests. And on Sunday morning, we have our Torah School drive-by parade and our community scavenger hunt. We have a lot of excitement in the week ahead, and I look forward to seeing all of you at some of these wonderful opportunities. Have a great day. Take care.